Hello, welcome back to Let's Play Jane's Fleet Command as we continue on with the single missions. This is actually my third time trying to record this mission. It's getting to be a bit of a pain. But today we will be doing the single mission Chinese Special Forces. Chinese Special Forces invade Taiwan.
Today's naval fleet is the most powerful military instrument in history, capable of dominating any known or anticipated enemy. But like any tool, it's only as good as the person who wields it.
So as you may have figured out, there's basically a pool of these videos. I want to say somewhere between 6 and 10, maybe 12, I don't know. I'd have to look at the files. I had a copy over to get them to work. But there's basically a small pool of those videos. And I don't know if they're, at the very least, they're semi-random. Because this is actually the video that played the first time I tried to record the scenario, but I had a different video for the second time. So it'll be pretty obvious as we go through. I mean, we're going to see them all because there's not that many. But I don't know if they have a certain number of videos assigned to each mission, or if they can choose anything from that pool randomly. But just a fun tidbit. And if you wonder why you end up seeing the same video over and over by the time we get through all these single missions, that's why. Mission tasking. You are assigned the Northern Patrol Sector. Sink any Chinese patrol boats within 50 miles of Taiwan. Numerous fishing vessels may be present. Do not attack civilian boats. Alright, now we're talking.
Taking track 9702.
Fire control radar.
Will do. Affirmative out.
Yeah.
Away, track 9711.
Alright, let's focus defensively. I need you, alert 15.
Out. Birds away. Track Wilco.
Alright, so once we get through this initial...
9710.
There we go.
Missile away. Track 9710.
We got more missiles coming in, so they're lighting us up. And we're close enough that we can actually just use our 5-inch guns in this guy. Yeah, we have a visual detection there. So there's something you don't see every day. So, and actually if we switch to him, yeah. You can see the shell splashes all around from, I don't quite see the Tycho there, but... So, I actually love this mission for a couple of different reasons, and the main one being, this is an excellent demonstration of what the game is capable of as far as its mission editor. It's not advertised as such, but so the mission editor packed it in with the game, I believe, is the same one that the devs use. And it is very powerful, at least by the standards of the time. It's obviously not going to hold a candle to okay, it's obviously not going to hold a candle to Command Modern Operations, but let's change targets. Okay, there we go. Resume bombarding with guns, and we can see we did give him a hit. Okay, he's launching his second volley. Let's deconflict. Oh, we have another missile inbound. But the reason I like this is because eventually if I post outtakes for this, you'll see, like, every time I've started this mission, there's been a different number of enemy ships in different positions. There's been a different number of civilian ships in different positions. And my own ship that I'm assigned to is changed every time. So, like, the first time I did this was with a Perry, which is probably... the ship you get assigned with changes the difficulty drastically. Well, that and the positions of the ship. So the first ship I was assigned was the Perry, which can defend itself against 2 widely spaced boats at a time. Okay, we gotta wait for our guns to reload apparently, even though it wasn't using the front gun as far as I'm aware. But he's pretty much dead in the water, as you can see. There's the game has preset damage models, so it's not going to be like real, like, what do they call it? It's not going to be reactive necessarily to what the player does, but like once it reaches certain damage thresholds, the model will change appropriately to reflect that. So here you can see his mast is kind of toppled over, his some of his missile tubes are falling off, his forward gun turret is basically destroyed, his rear gun turret's probably taken a hit. Here we can see information too, like this is Chinese Hoku class fast attack vessel armed with Styx missiles. This is also a Hongfeng or Osa 2 armed with Styx missiles as well. Holy shit, this is actually we got another Hongfeng and Hoku 2. So holy shit, they are throwing the kitchen sink at us this time. Because when I was with the Perry, I only had 2 hostile ships. The second time, that one I had to abort early because they give you a Sprints class destroyer, which is, in my opinion, the hardest ship to beat this mission with, because it doesn't have any of the medium or long range defensive missiles that the Perry or the Ticonderoga does. It only has enhanced Sea Sparrow missiles, which honestly in this game, in my experience, haven't been too great. And actually last mission, or the second time I tried to record this, I couldn't even use those because it spawned one of the Chinese boats within like a mile of my boat. So they basically launched, and by the time the ship, you know, sees that there's a hostile ship there, sees that they've launched, sees the missiles incoming, like I think the Phalanx got off 3 bursts, and then 2 missiles hit my ship. So it's like, okay, that's not even fair. Granted, the only reason this is fair is because we were 5 miles apart and I had access to standard missiles. That's the only reason we survived this, I would say. But yeah, you'll notice for whatever reason, like the AI's cannon always seems to be on point. So unless you overwhelm it with missiles, it will just, like, if you send them in one at a time, it'll just knock them all out. Your ships don't necessarily do as well, which infuriates me because I would think the fire control systems or like the cannons on these guys wouldn't be as anywhere near as good or as reactive compared to Phalanx, considering they still have a man in the loop. But then you get something like Phalanx, where that's all automated, and we've even seen combat evidence of it in the Red Sea, where it knocked the missile down that entered within range, and it did that autonomously. So it kind of infuriates me that your cannons can be kind of shitty in here. I don't know how much total ammo, or if it does simulate total ammo for your ship, but you'll notice he's reloaded his forward magazine, so he's firing that. I think it's red because his rear gun magazine is still reloading. So I do know, I think that it can fire fore and aft at the same time. I was observing this. Oh, we don't even have the good Ticonderoga. We have the one of the there we go. So we knocked him out. What we're gonna do is we're gonna
take track 9706. Wilco, missile away. Track 9706. Taking track 9706. Out. Missile away. Track
we're gonna
97.
four harpoons for him,
taking track 97.
and we're gonna send 4 harpoons on him, which again is overkill. I would normally not use more than 2.
Engaging track 9703.
And I think if I were to simulate this in command modern operations, I'm pretty sure 2 would be more than enough to do the job, but this is not command modern operations. I should have fired with him first. So now we have, but 4 in a row should be pretty hard for their cannons to defeat, just from like a quantity level, so to speak. And then we got 4 penguins in on that guy. So the penguin as modeled is 50 kilogram warhead. I know the Hellfires that these guys carry are modeled as a 10-kilogram warhead in game, and they did about 7 points of damage. So if 2 penguins hit, that would be about 70% damage, I think. The harpoons are an insta-kill because they really are. The harpoons are made for slightly, like, I think frigate-sized ships generally about. So, like, these small missile boats, one is enough to sink them. And we can, if I wanted to model it in command monitor operations, we'd see it there too, I'm sure. But yeah, anyways, as I wanted to originally, well, first, let's go to Intel. Patrol boats carrying Chinese special forces may try to insert the special forces into Taiwan before dawn today. And you will actually lose if they get close enough to the mainland. And we do actually have some drawings tools, like we can add a range circle here. So we can see, like, this guy's within 20 miles. I think if they get within 10 of shore, generally speaking, they win. We'll delete that range circle. Oh, here we go. It looks like we already have 1 hit on them. 2, 3. There we go. All right, let's have 1 out just to. At this point now, they're just surveillance platforms for me. I want to keep them high so we can see what's going on. A little nervous about these guys because the harpoons in. We don't really have the option to adjust, like, seeker settings and stuff. So, like, the harpoon has a narrow and wide seeker mode. And in this case, I would definitely want to use narrow, but that's not necessarily an option. Yeah, so they took out the first harpoon. They took out the second. Oh, they took out the third. He took out the fourth, too? Holy shit. All right, yeah, return the base. We're going to need to load up on some penguins, I think. You can return the base, too. We'll kind of accelerate time here. And likewise, we will move to intercept him at maximum speed. Okay, good. I was a little worried because with the wide seeker mode, I was worried they might lock onto the trawler instead. I've had that happen before. Alright. Really? Let's watch this guy since he's most likely to actually. There we go. So we had the harpoons hit on that one. All right, so what we're going to do is we're basically just going to cycle these guys in, reload them with penguin missiles, and try to hit the last attack boat. And knock him out before he gets within range of the Taiwanese mainland. But, man, I've got so many threads I need to follow up on. Anyways, back to the original thing I was talking about. This mission is an excellent demonstration. Like, it's simple, but it also demonstrates the powerful capabilities of the built-in mission editor, which I believe, again, is the same editor they use to create, like, the single missions and campaigns. You know, so, like, we've got random, well, I should say semi-randomized ship placement, because I don't think it can be truly random, but you can say, like, you could put, like, 3 ships on the map, give each one a 33% probability of appearing, and make it so only one can appear, so it chooses one, and then by having the 3 ships, you know, for each ship you have, that's like kind of a randomization of the position. Okay, we're gonna try to cut ahead. I think we'll be fast enough, but still, I want to try to cut out to the other side of this this trawler here, so he doesn't get caught in the crossfire. And we should, yep, you can see the Tycho there. They're using, at a distance, they'll use the standard unknown ship model. as a low res, but you can see now it's kind of switched to a really low res Tycho, and that'll improve as it gets closer. So this is always kind of cool to see. Up, you could even see our helicopter coming down there. All right, so we'll launch one and put the other on alert 15.
Will do out.
All right, so actually we're going to cut across now and cut behind him. We are actually in gun range, but I do want to wait.
Will do. Roger out.
Until and ships can collide in this, by the way, so do
Roger out.
be careful.
Kick that aircraft off the deck. Roger.
Will do. Roger. Out. Roger.
You can even hear the trawler there. Okay, so we have successfully, I think we're on a good course,
Affirmative.
and now we can kind of resume. There we go. So we'll provide covering fire for our helicopters here.
970.
Take track. 9-7.
And you can see this guy's just like,
Weapon
and there you can see,
9-7.
I think they launched all their Penguin missiles, so there we go. So this guy's gonna have a lot to deal with. All right, bring her around. You can see the shell splashes there, which in theory should also hamper his radar for point defense, but yeah, so you have a lot of capability because that's kind of like how you can determine, like semi-randomize, you know, what ship you get, where the ships are at. There's a probability of inclusion. There we go. We got a 5-inch hit on him. We're really lucky we knocked out one of his guns. I think subsystem damage is kind of random as to what sensor or weapon might get taken offline. There's obviously mission tasking, like our objective is a simple destroy all the boats, but their objective is to basically just get to the end of their waypoints. Because I don't think it's I forget if it's either like a box that you set up, or if there we go, we got another hit on him. Didn't quite sink him, but he's dead in the water. 87% damage.
Take track. 9-7.
So we can send these guys in to use Hellfires to finish him off with minimal threat of retaliation at this point. He might have one cannon left if he's lucky. He's obviously got fires on board, although fire and flooding doesn't have like a super realistic damage model. Like, you don't have to worry about fire and flooding like you do in Command Modern Operations. There we go.
06.
All right,
Proceed to base. Affirmative. Out.
return to station.
Will do.
But like, obviously our ship has waypoints because we can tell it to return to station. All the civilians at waypoints, and they kind of make the battle a little more complicated because you can't just fire on everything, otherwise you might hit a civilian. I told them to return the station, not return the base.
Proceeding to base. Can do.
So it really gives us like, for what it is, it's very powerful. Like I said, it's not going to measure up to Command Modern Operations, but for its time, it was pretty damn good, especially for something a little more mainstream oriented like Fleet Command, you know, versus the more professional or I guess hobbyist harpoon simulator. So and you know, the mission's easy, so it serves as just a general good introduction. Well, it's mostly easy unless the game's bullshit. Like, that's the other thing I didn't discuss is the first time I tried to record this. So I had pretty much won. I believe, damaged one ship slightly, and the other was just out of range enough that I wasn't going to worry about it for a little while. Excuse me. Or no, actually, I sunk the other ship with harpoons because I fired 2 and they somehow miraculously got through. But actually, no, it was just if I remember right, it was just one. I was astonished that it actually hit because I had fired 2 at it, but they passed just within cannon range of the first ship. So they shot down one of the harpoons with their cannons. So I kind of expected it to be a wash, and it ended up hitting. But then the last enemy ship just disappeared from the screen. You know, couldn't target it or anything like that. Flew my helicopters over to try to get a lock. They got shot down because the unit still existed. It's just invisible on my data display here. Sailed my Perry over it, and it already fired its missiles. You can't use cannons against large ships in this. So I was actually able to put my Perry right up next to the ship. You know, I had all my sensors on, tried turning them off, turned them back on. Nothing. Could see him in the 3D view, couldn't see him in the 2D view. So it's like, well, okay, at this point I can't complete the mission because I can't freaking target him. But and obviously my ships weren't auto engaging like they should have been, so something was bugged there. But Fleet Command was always a little janky even in its heyday, and now it's running on a system that wasn't even conceived until like 15-20 years after it was released. So expect jank. That's all I can really say. But any event, mission complete, report for debrief. All special forces groups have been killed. So that is our intel message, and we can see under our battle assessment 100%. We'll be able to read that soon enough. So with that, let's go to debrief. And like we just saw, the Valley Forge and both of its embarked Seahawks are unharmed. We killed the Hong Feng with guns by Valley Forge, with a penguin, the other one with a penguin by one of our helicopters. The Hoku was killed by the 5-inch guns on the Valley Forge, and then the Hoku 2 was killed by a harpoon from the Valley Forge. Special Forces stopped. All Special Forces groups have been killed. Outstanding job. Here we can see the replay. There was actually a 3rd trawler there. I think we only saw these 2, but that's fine. It doesn't... No, we did see that one because that was the one I was worried was going to... maybe it was this one that disappeared. But, yeah, we could do it live, but you can see we successfully fought off the missiles. We launched our own counterattack, which destroyed all but the Hoku 1, and then we closed in and gave it what for. And we did all that without hurting any civilians. So that'll make a nice little addition, as you can see in our Admiral's log. And we can walk away from that with a victory. So we have saved Taiwan from the evil Chinese Special Forces. Oh, yeah, there's so much to talk about. I'm sure I've already, like, there's probably a tangent I started going down that I didn't finish or forgot about. But, yeah, I played this game a lot as a kid. You know, much like, well, USNF 97, but essentially Fighters Anthology. So it's got a special place in my heart, jank and all. So I think we'll leave it there for now. And with that, thank you all for watching, and stay tuned for next time, and stay safe out there, and we'll see you then.